Okay, I'm gonna get into this finally. This is something I've been wanting for a while, holding off. I think it was basically announced sometime late last year, 2025. And well, let's get into it. What do we got here? It was packaged basically in a bag of some sort, and just around this cardboard. But this is my first unboxing actually. Um, it seems to be in pretty good condition and intact. How did we take this thing together? Over here. So, see here. Whoa. Just wanted to give the full unboxing experience. I have to move my camera extra high up to be able to see this. It's a little sticky here. Maybe it's just from a label. I think it goes flat like this. And yes, this is the Bandai Namco. Sometimes I guess it's in partnership with Tamashii Nations. I always see that mentioned in the description. Chogokin. I have to find out what that means. I know that applies to a lot of stuff in Bandai. That's, I guess, maybe extra premium stuff. That's I've had some stuff under that label too, Chogokin. But anyways, this is Metal Gear Rex from, of course, Metal Gear Solid 1 primarily, but you can count it as 2 as well technically, although it was more broken up in Metal Gear 2, which is really cool that you could visit the base where it was at, and you can actually pilot it for once. But it had, I think some parts of it were damaged from its battle with Snake. But then you get to, I believe, pilot. Is it Snake or Raiden? I forget. It's been a while since I played Metal Gear Solid 2, but you can go back to that base and dig them up. And it's cool how it goes low res, like the old PlayStation graphics, just for that part of it. And then, but then you can take this out to the surface, and then you battle Metal Gear Ray against that, which is pretty cool. But this was always such a cool design of the Metal Gear um, weapons. There's so many different ones, right? But this one was like the first one that was brought back after a long break since the original ones off of I guess Nintendo from the 80s. And yeah, just so cool. And I did have a model by Kuto Bikuya. I forgot the name. It begins with K. They had a really nice scale model kit to paint up, and I believe it's not snapped together. I'm pretty sure you have to glue it, and it's pretty nice. And it might be about the same scale as this potentially. I'm not entirely sure, but I never built it, and I had it, and I was going to, but I just was running. Life was busy, and I just didn't have time to really do a nice job of painting it. And then, of course, the blocky, patches of camouflage on this, to mask it off and paint it and all that. Just didn't have the time. And when they finally announced this was coming out, I guess sometime early. When was this announced? Well, it was announced and it was supposed to come out in, I guess, March of 2026. I think that was the timeline. And I've only, I usually go through Big Bad Toy Store. They're pretty good about getting stuff that's on pre-ordered and a lot of stuff. I used to, it's pretty hassle-free. The prices are generally pretty fair, but and so I can just put my money down and just wait for it, and it just ships. You can do the pile of loot stuff if you got multiple things, and just that way you can save on shipping, to ship like a group of stuff instead of individual ones, because that's going to add up more obviously. But they're selling this for like $365 or so, something like that, which is pretty expensive for this toy. It's really looks pretty nice. It should have metal parts and very articulate, and it does have lights, which is cool. And I believe it's probably activated by, well, actually I think there's a switch. I don't think it's a magnet switch. But yeah, 365. And so I kind of held off. You know, it's almost with taxes and shipping. That's like pretty close to $400. So I waited several months. Right now it's about early mid June, and I just received this a few days ago. I think, or it was about a week, something like that, very very recently. And I ended up looking on eBay, looking around on the interwebs, but I did find eBay had some pretty good sellers. You know, I look at the reputation and I just look at the pricing and how much for shipping and all that. And basically, um, this came out to be about 260 or 80, which is almost $100 at least, roughly a savings over what I might have spent on a Big Bad Toy Store. I just think with the tariffs and stuff, probably they probably jacked up the price for them. But anyways, yeah. So I figured that was fair. It's fairly well, reasonably under $300, and it shipped really fast. Actually, it only came within a week or less than that. And we'll just look at the box. This camera's high up, so I don't have the best view of what's going in frame. So if I go out of frame, excuse me. And yeah, this is gonna look pretty cool. And here's some of the function. Let's see if I can zoom up a little bit. Is this too much? Might be a little too close. Well, I'll try to move this around. There's LED lights, mainly I think right on the top of the jaw, the nose, I guess, and those ones out here. And I think that's it primarily. I don't think Metal Gear has a whole lot of lights in general. And I can't read this. I don't have my Google Translate, but it's probably very articulate. I think it does come with a base stand that kind of goes up in between the crotch and the butt somewhere to help position it. But I think because of the way the legs are configurable, especially the heel part, if you didn't need it to just stand on the ends at the toes here, if you're okay with putting down I guess the heel, I'm sorry, out of frame, sorry, you can just, I think you can stand like here on basically on its toes, front part of its feet, or you can make it lower or even raise it a bit and just have it on this as possible, but we'll see what looks good. And you can collapse them down to like pretty short like this. Hopefully this is in focus. Go back again. Try that. And then, so yeah, so you can go all the way down like it's like resting. It hasn't been activated yet, I think. And then you can go up to, I guess, the full height right here. And you can see there's a stand actually in between its legs right here. You can see part of it. And this is just on its toes. I mean, normally it should be able to, that's how it would basically walk around. It doesn't really use its heels. That would be a pretty wide footprint like that. And what else is there? Let's just show all the little components move. I believe to activate the lights, you have to open up these a couple of clips or pieces on the side, and then you lift up the top panel, and then I believe there's a switch somewhere on the right here. That's what I saw. And somewhere in here, I believe here is the battery compartment. I can sort of semi-zoom up, but I can see there's like a little line here. We'll see that in a moment. And that's basically it. So let me see. This thing, I wonder how big this is in actuality. The closest thing I've ever had to something like this was I made like I think there's a name for that kind of paper craft, but you know, you can make paper models out of a lot of things. You just print it out, and then back up a little bit. You print out all the surface areas, and then you carefully cut them out, and then they have little tabbed areas that you can carefully fold and bend, and you glue them, and you form it up together, and then you can make like a model out of that. And that's what I did with Metal Gear a long time ago. I think there was a promotion or something with these parts, these arms. There's the instruction manual and nothing else in the box. If I get this pose, I gotta have a place to put this. I really would like to make like a mini diorama, at least of like, if not the whole thing really, that's gonna might be a bit much, but at least like the flooring of, you know, where you see Metal Gear in the game, and you fight, you know, Snake fights him in that hangar or bay area wherever he's housed. It's housed. But yeah. So anyways, I had only like a paper version of it, but it came out pretty nice actually. I mean, I didn't have much reference for true colors at that time, but it was about as good as it can be, and yeah, I should bring it out and show it off sometime. It's very lightweight, as you can imagine. It's just paper, but it turned out pretty good. So let's go into there. So put that blade away, and just components. Obviously, this for the stand. You can have like different heights for it to help support it underneath, and you basically have really the only two components you got to add to it is the rail gun on one side and the radar dish on the other side. And this goes over, yeah, as you flip open like these tabs over here on the Metal Gear's, the main like head, I guess, and you lift off this panel and just make sure, I guess, the hooks here is where it would, you know, you gotta be aware of that. And then there's a little piece of paper that blocks the battery, you know, so it doesn't, like, you know, leak or use up the battery while it's in storage. And there's an on and off switch to this on the side here. It's indicated, and then these will light up. If you need to change the battery, you just do the unscrewing of, I don't have a good angle of this, but obviously there's, I think one side here probably has a screw. Where's my hand? Sorry, let me back up a little bit. So let's see, can I add this light? This might help. So yeah, one side there's a screw right here, and then it just kind of lifts up, and then there's three of these LR44s, which I should have plenty of, so pretty easy. Going over the articulation, the jaw moves, the head can like tilt like that. The gun on the bottom of the crotch can like swivel and move up and down as it should, right there. The head can, you know, obviously it can raise up, I guess. There's like a rotating point here on the neck, I guess, and the head can also swivel separately. And this part on the side here, I don't know what you would call this here, that can also probably have some articulation. I'm not exactly sure. This is from, I think, the top view right here. I believe it's the top view, and this is like the back of, I think, Metal Gear's head, I'm pretty sure. And so I'm wondering, oh, okay, maybe this is to indicate the hip joint. Maybe it can swivel outwards, you know, the legs can go outwards from here. I'd have to see it to exactly know exactly what they're speaking about there. What else? So again, the legs can probably move down like so. Feet can also move out, I think, potentially independent from the legs. Like this might be one part, and then the leg, I think it looks like, yeah, the leg itself might, at the lower part might move. These can extend out as well, make it taller, and it's going to unfold out, I guess, in the back. Oh, even warning, sharp. See that? I wonder if these are metal on the toes. They should be. That would be kind of cool. But yeah, you can extend the spikes on his toes out, and there's another part, like the bottom part of his feet can kind of come out to, I guess, help support him as well. I think that's what that's about down here. And to the back, I guess these are just extra things you can open up. This is the top panel that they were talking about earlier to get to the battery. Maybe you put those back, flip this back down. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. I have to look at it. I'm just trying to go over this as I'm going over it with it. And then that's cool, the backpack area, I guess. These can open up a little bit. I think these are areas where missiles can get launched out of the back, if I recall. Like a salvo of missiles might where they be coming out from. Do not misplace. Okay. Yeah, something about these can open up. I guess different panels you can open up and reveal like some of the structure underneath. I guess that's what that is. There's probably a left and right side. I imagine that's maybe what that is. So there should be this side. I guess you can remove that panel as well. So it's a lot of removable panels, which I don't think, to be honest, I'm ever going to get into. I mean, maybe initially I might just open it up to check it out, but I don't really see much point in removing all the decoration off of it right now. And this is how you attach it onto the back. Gotta watch out for these parts, I guess. Warning, delicate, right here. So you gotta watch that radar dish, those parts coming off the back. As well, there's one fine one off the back there. This one seems pretty solid, just goes right in. I wonder how removable it is. Once it's set, once you click it in there, I wonder if I wanted to put it back in storage, would I be able to just pull it out and put it, just stick it back in? So see. And there's a spot, I guess, underneath on the bottom where you can peg some of these stands. Some of these have more of an angle that might help out. And you can, again, choose a different height depending on how you want this posed. And here's the actual base part. I don't mind having that. I'd rather have it supported, correctly than putting unnecessary stress on other parts of the figure, the model, right? Warning, don't want this to tumble. Yeah, so yeah, I wish it could stand and everything without it. It might possibly be able to, but I can't imagine it will be particularly stable with this kind of feet setup, and all the weight and everything. It's just better to use the stand. And that's basically it. So let me try to piece this together, and I'll show it to you as in its more completed form. All right, got them unboxed and parts assembled. Really cool. There's so much on here. Even like, I'm pretty sure these pop open too. I think he's got, I may not be able to do it like this though. I'll have to take this panel off somehow. Oh, here we go. I think. You're not. Maybe. Hang on a second. Do I have to remove? No, I guess I might just like that forward. So there's like, I think there's missile salvos in here, and look, these should be able to, yeah, these should be able to. Oh, you can open this up here and reveal those, I guess, but I don't think I want to mess with those. So let me just carefully put this back. I think it goes in like that. So there's lots of cool stuff that you can do to open it up, and they all open this particular way. Like this one, I don't know, you have to slide it out, and I think more panels kind of open up here and there. What's cool about, I can see if I can angle this down slightly, better view. These spikes here, they feel like, yeah, they are metal. And then there's a little switch on the on the back side here, so you can extend them like this. See, like that on both of them. I can do it on both, so that's kind of cool. That, you know, because I think that's what Metal Gear can do. Like, you can probably stab somebody that's skewer somebody on the ground, and just push these. Either push them back there, or you probably should use the. Trying to reach for the lever somewhere back here, like that. I'm just trying to go over what I can since I'm in this pose, and I'll stand them up properly later. But this swivels. It has kind of a. It feels like it's not really a locking position, but it's kind of cool to have that, and the laser cannon that goes on the bottom here. It swivels. This thing is so deadly when he uses it in the game. It just kind of and it sweeps across, and you better watch out. It's got metal parts for the joints, especially right in here, which is important, and they do sound ratcheted. But the thing is, what's tricky about this area is that it's kind of double ratcheted or double movement, so it moves within the side inside here, and it can take this whole thing with it, you know. And this thing can articulate too. I never noticed something like this in the middle, but apparently there's like this kind of guard here, I guess, maybe to protect the joint in some way. So you can move this. You can see it's a well. I'll move it up. See, this can move separately on this side too. So that's the only tricky thing, is just to, if you want to get this thing to move back into position, you kind of have to get in there and move it a little bit. Actually try to grab that and pivot on that spot, and I want to try to make sure that it's somewhat even with that side, like one side doesn't like angle down more than the other, so something like that. These are on, whoops, yeah, see, the panels come off kind of easy, not like super easy, but if you don't know how to, I'm new to this, so if you're not sure how to, what you're grabbing onto, like you can just start pulling panels off. But if I grip back here, you can see it's on a ball joint, so you can adjust it in ways that you can adjust a ball joint. This heel here moves out. I don't think this will extend anymore. I think that's about as long as it gets. There's some articulation in there to just kind of push it back against the back, and also it can go back further like this if needs be. This extends, the whole leg or foot, I guess, extends forward, and you can kind of feel it snap, lock into some kind of place. Not like a hard lock, but it does feel like there's a position at the end there that it kind of would hold on to. So just be careful pulling that out, and then you can feel it kind of get into place. And pretty cool. You see like pistons in here too. Just extra detail, whatever that is in the back. Maybe it vents out some sort of exhaust from the feet. This part moves up to the toe, the front toe part, as well as this. There is no like side to side swivel, so like if I pose them, you know, if its feet are out wide like that, and it can go out like this, and again these actually go outwards too, or inwards as well. You can do that. But the thing is, there's no real way to like get the feet like angled maybe to the ground, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't like pivot like this way, which, you know, if you played with if you've seen like Transformers, the newer stuff, they all have that kind of pivot that can go there. That's kind of an important articulation to be missing, I think. There's some extra detail in there once you extend it. The neck is, most of the framework seems to be metal, and look at all this. I don't know if you can see up in there, like all the detail underneath the head too, which you probably never see. I'm trying to see if I can have you see past all this stuff that's in the way, but it's super cool. There's all this detail back here. Let me back up a little bit. And of course, this opens up to reveal the cockpit inside which is pretty cool. It's too bad that it doesn't. What it's missing is it totally needs a liquid snake in here to highlight it. That would be awesome. And let's see here. And I think when he's posed up, because actually this back part, I don't think it really, as far as I can tell, this back, sorry, zoom close up, this thing's big. This back section here doesn't really like, I don't think it does any articulation, if I can that I can tell. What's kind of cool also is there is like these parts you could probably pull this panel open somehow too to make it easier, but I found that if I push down here on the back, I can lift these up like this. You know, it starts to, I can maybe grab the front end if I do this just right. Or I get like a fine tool, like so hopefully I won't scratch nothing. But just be careful, just lift it up. You can do like a small screwdriver or something, whatever you think is safe to. Probably lift this up slightly, just like, so I don't dig into it too. So that's kind of neat that these actually open up too to review. I think this is where like a little missile salvos come out of off of his back, right? And they might be heat seeking, or they might just blanket an area and at a certain area that it launches at. And so there's that. What else is there? This can go up and down. It can go in and out a bit. The head again can tilt like this a bit. It needs to be. It's kind of cool. Let's see, in the radar dish, I think it's mostly fixed. It's just that. Sorry, I got to reposition my camera. Hang on a second. Let me carefully. I should grab the stand before I completely mess something up here. Technically, you can stand like this, see? Hopefully it won't fall as I'm trying to readjust my camera here so I can give you a better angle of this. Just got to move it up higher. Okay, good enough for now. Yeah, so it is capable of standing. It's actually the joint, the heel part back here, down here is actually pretty firm. So it's not easy for it to just give. But that's pretty small footprint, so I'd be kind of nervous. And I think, yeah, so these can articulate a little bit. They can't go out more than this because there's a hard stop right in there, but they can go in a bit more, but that's fine. There's nothing to this, but again, this, you want to be careful. You don't want to drop this and break it. I guess I would move the head forward so that I can lean his head down like this and actually articulate. I think this is as high as his head can articulate. So you want him he should be kind of posed with his back a little bit arched up higher, and that way the gun can kind of clear, the main rail gun can kind of clear his head, as well as the radar dish would be angled just a tad up high like this as well. And then let's see, there's that. When he's up like this, I think his feet should be basically, I have to take a look. Maybe, does it collapse back this way? Maybe it does go up like that, out of the way. I think if that's the proper way to pose him when his feet are extended and he's walking on the feet over there. So, yeah. You just want to be careful how to grab him. And let's see, I'm trying to make his feet kind of angled. Okay, it's out like that. I think I'm going to need a stand to help hold them up. So we'll take a look on the bottom here, and what they have here is the stand is kind of clever. They just, if you don't want to use it, you can hide it, but you open up this hatch, then you got the part where you can put it in. So I think I will use, there's two angles. I think this feels like it might be at the steeper angle. So I'll try to carefully put it in there. And I'm just off to the side trying to determine the height. Maybe just do the maximum since he's got the legs fully extended. And so it's just, maybe I'm doing this backwards, but they should all fit fairly okay like this. And then, let's see, put this here. And I'm wondering if, let's see if I can get his legs splayed out a little bit more. Or go even more. Okay. So at least he's got this to hold him up, and just want to see how do they have him on his display stand. Basically, yeah, anyway, but I'm thinking it should be more or less like this. And I'll get a lower angle in a moment here. And you know, this just requires a little bit of playing around with just to see what looks like the best pose for this. And I guess his feet are just like that. And then I gotta probably figure out how to again readjust his legs so that maybe I should angle this one a little bit more to be like the other side. So that's the only trick here, is that again there's sort of a double articulation or rotation. Oops, I don't want to break this. I forget how long this is, jabbing it into the stand. Down in here, there's like again double articulation. So you move this, you may only move one part and not move this, although you may want to move this. So then sometimes it does grab that, and sometimes it doesn't have enough friction, and then you have to kind of carefully go in here and get your fingers around that middle part and kind of rotate it. You know, find a way to rotate it. But I do have it on its tallest stand right now. And I guess that looks kind of okay. I'm just thinking, I mean, I don't think I can, the way this is designed, I think it should be, I should be using one that's more angled, because then I want that bottom part to kind of hang lower, angle down more, and then so it can lift up his back so I can lift his head up a bit. And then, yeah. So, let me see here. Let's get into, I could probably extend the toe claws a bit, but I don't know how long do I want them. I'll keep them short for now. I just want less parts that just kind of interfere with his pose. And I won't have him totally dug into the ground right now. He's not like hunkering down. And these panels again come off pretty easily, like right here. And you can just see again some of the structure underneath, which is kind of cool. Let's see, what's the best way to do this? Flip up those hatches. So I believe this flips up this way. It shouldn't be too difficult. And this flips up like that. And this flips up here. And then you just pull this up carefully. You just watch there's some tabs up front, I believe. So I just want to wiggle this carefully out like that. So yeah, you don't want to mess up these by pulling up on it incorrectly. And hopefully I should be able to just reinsert this back into here to break the connection so that I can put them in storage. But let's get under here. And I'll just pull that for now. Let me see. Yeah, I can just slip that back in there. It should be as simple as that. So I keep that off to the side. And then we're gonna turn on the lights. Ooh, here we go. And then this, for full effect, we'll just put this back down for now. There we go. And then that just secures down like that. It's not like super tight. It's about right, like that. I just wanted to note that you don't have to open up the complete head to turn off the switch. It's actually conveniently located under one of these things that you lift up to remove it. You just can get in here. Although it's kind of tight, you can get to it, and just like these type of things, you probably need some fine tools anyways. So then poke it, and then it's off. And close it, and there you go. And let me get this camera angle down lower. And a little bit more out so you can sort of see what's going on here. Tighten that arm. There we go. How cool is that? And then you've got some on the side here. Really nice. Really cool effect. And then I didn't have to do any wiring like for the plastic model kit to do this. And of course this opens up. And if you had snake in there, you'd probably be able to, or liquid, you might be able to see. I think there is some light that's shining back in here. I can sort of see it, but I'm not going to lift it up right now. But yeah, it should be just shut because, you know, he doesn't need to show himself. He's more protected like this. Yeah, and then you can turn his head and angle it slightly if you need to. If I was going to do him in a even more dynamic pose. There you go. Super cool. Yeah, this is, I mean, then the details that are inside the, let me just grab this right here, just to try to do a quick tour. Hope he's not focusing on those guys in the back. You can see up in the rail gun, see all that detail, and I'm sure it's probably on the underside as well. Yeah, because there's no area that isn't missed. It's kind of cool how you got, again, all the mechanics here, just to make it look more realistic. And this paint job is clean. And I think these, like on tanks, fire out some sort of you know, smoke grenades or something like that to hide position. And yeah, I would say, to my eyes, this turns out, it's not an issue, but it looks more gray, and especially the darker parts of the camouflage are a little bit more green than I thought they would be. I thought they would be more gray. Then it definitely has a greenish hue to them. It's not a big deal. No, you know, it's hard to say what the real actual color was, but I mean, look at this, you know, it's Metal Gear Rex, and I mean, it just looks awesome. I wouldn't complain about the colors really, but again, from what I recall when the game, I don't remember it looking quite this tone, but it's been a while since I've seen it, but I'll take it. It's not a problem. Now, since this is set up here, I don't think I can check, but I think the way these go in, they're pretty much set in there. It'd be pretty tricky to pull them out if I needed to repose this guy. So I'll have to see what I'm going to do with this. I think I need to quickly find a nice display box so that I can keep the dust off of this. Another thing is, if I do that, if there's a way I can creatively and quickly, not take too long, to come up with a base that looks like the flooring of the, of the hangar that he's stored in, and you find him in the game, just to add some more, something more to it than just, this on a plain, floor or something. But yeah, that's, I think, the only thing that it's missing. Again, I think it's on the feet. It's the ability to pivot like this, right? So that when its legs are out, it can it kind of wants. I think it's technically sitting like this at a slight angle. It's not completely. No, it kind of is. There is some slight flexibility in there, but it's, if I really work it out more, look, you can see that it's not really sitting flush. It needs, I should have like a little bit more articulation, like this. If it had more articulation, just at least drop it more flat on the ground, that would have been better. But looking at how this is made, I'm not sure. I don't think, like, you can't really work that into this particular mechanism they got in there. So, it is what it is. And everything looks good. I mean, I'm sure it's probably in here, but like, you don't even see any, like, what's cool about this is, and you shouldn't take this for granted, and that's maybe why, the design and the way it's built is so nice, is that there's no screw holes, really. I'd say, technically, I guess maybe those guys there on that are holding the toe claws in, I guess. But other than that, I mean, a lot of toys, they just, the way they assemble, you're gonna have a screw holes somewhere just to help stick this together, and you just don't see it. Maybe it's hidden underneath some of these panels that are removable too, but I did not notice that. Well, let's see. For instance, if I move this one here, this is one of the easiest ones to access. Yeah, I mean, you really don't see any screw holes, screw pins, or anything. So that's cool. It kind of helps add to the scale and of realistic details. You won't see like a big giant screw on an actual mecha machine of this sort, right? It's much smaller. So that's just kind of cool. It's just that's a little detail that when you really look at it, it's like, wow, that's one of the reasons why this looks, I think, so good. So I guess it's mostly going to be like this then. I don't know. I'll play with it for a little bit, but that's it. So thanks for watching, and yeah, I recommend it if you can find it for a decent price. I think, yeah, just look on eBay or somewhere, and you should be able to find some. There's a bunch of sellers, and you should be able to, hopefully get it for decently under $300. Still pricey, but given the alternatives, you could pay almost up to 400. 300 is better than 400 if you really like this, and I do, because I really like the game, and I really love this design of the Metal Gear Rex from the game too. So that's it. So thanks for watching, and I guess we'll see what I unveil next.